Good evening. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? And welcome to the Paranormal Question and Answer show with myself, Anne Rekovich, paranormal investigator and owner of Oz Paratech, and
Renata Daniel, also paranormal investigator, owner of Newcastle Ghost Tours, and part-time tarot card consultant at The Witch's Charm and manifestation coach.
And multi-award-winning Newcastle Ghost Tours, may I say. How are we doing? Hello, Clinton. Hi, Susie, Shane, Zena, Leanne, Melanie. Hello. Robert, and this Fairy Dragon Sir Stash. I've said it early. Hello, Robin. I'll miss Kim. Daisy, Shine. I said Shane. Joe. Yep. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Lawrence, hello. Welcome. There's Lisa. She's on there as well. Yeah, we normally do our... there's Jody. Ali, sorry, as well. We normally do our tarot show on the first Thursday of the month. But some of us are a little run down at the moment. So we figured we couldn't give you our sparkling best if we were...
yes.
all zhuzhed up.
Yes.
So here we are. We're going to give you the best answers we can for the paranormal.
Yes. So unfortunately, and I'm sorry, if you did think that tonight was going to be the tarot show, we are sorry.
Hello, Wanda from Arkansas.
I am slightly under the weather and I am not really in a tarot headspace.
Stephanie from Detroit as well. Hello.
And so I'm sorry.
Hi,
so
Erin.
You'll have to come back next week for that.
Next week or the week after?
But
we can do a catch up next week as well. We can give you a bonus.
We could, but oh no, Clinton. Oh, I'm sorry that your puggy has gone. Oh, look, if you loved him even a quarter of how much I love mine, then he or she had a good life and they will be happy in the afterlife. You'll probably hear them and
Hi, Michelle.
See them around you for a couple of weeks. But we do, we are opening up this for paranormal questions. So if you have anything of the paranormal nature or of a paranormal nature that you would like to ask us, please go ahead and do. In the meantime, we're going to start the conversation by talking a little bit about what is going on at the Conjuring House.
Oh, God.
Now, it affects us because
I'm going to yawn on that.
we have booked the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
In October this year. We are heading overseas. If you don't know, we are heading overseas to America in October, 14th of October to about the 5th of November, 6th of November. And we are going to Salem, but we also have a couple of days prior to that, where we're going to be doing our own investigations and a bit of a road trip while we're there. So we're going to be covering a couple of spots, meeting a few people, doing one or two collaborations of our own with people that we know really well. And then we're going into our tour, which we have some beautiful Aussie people who are coming along to Salem, and we're going to enjoy Salem in October. And and doing all of that sort of stuff. Absolutely. But one of the things that we have booked in for these guys
is dancing in Salem on Halloween night.
Is a tour.
What the hell?
Is a tour on, yes, it is actually. We have done that. Is a tour at the Conjuring House. We couldn't get in for an all-nighter because thank God, thank the gods, because
Conjobbering house.
there's more than one.
Look, he's very clever. He's quick.
That night is taken. It's $1,500 to book the Conjuring House overnight. Good money if you can get it. And yes, so we weren't going to go into that. It wasn't available anyway, but we weren't going into it. We thought about it for a split second and then went no. And so we do have a tour booked in, a daytime tour, where they're going to take us through the house and do a tour, and then I guess we can just go home. Or inspect the woods, whatever it might be.
We can go looking for those speakers that they've allegedly got hidden in the woods. Oh, that'd be fun. Would you be in for that, Joanne? We do have some people here on the live feed now that are coming on our frightfully good haunted holiday. Let me tell you, keep an eye out for that in the future, because we've got it jam-packed full of investigations, tours, and general shenanigans.
There was
a question
from
I've
Wanda.
got it, and there was one from Kel. What's the scariest thing that has happened on an investigation? For me, it was at Maitland Jail, and we were doing the spirit box experiment, and I heard this wailing start to happen, and it was a lady that was collapsing up against a wall saying that the spirits have got hold of her. It was at the very end of the session, so our volunteers very quickly rounded up everyone and moved them on to the next location, and I stayed back with this particular lady. And it was the last rotation of the night too, luckily. And she continued to sag to the ground, and she was saying it was spirits, it was ghosts. And I just tried to talk to her to find out, have you had any health issues or any problems? No, it's the ghost. It's the ghost. I said, so nothing like heart attacks or anything like that. Oh, I had a heart attack earlier this year. So I'm calling the ambulance. This is not necessarily ghosts. And we actually had the ambulance come and collect her, and she was having a health incident. But this is where it's really important on paranormal investigations, that if somebody is having some sort of incident, that you do not assume that it's ghosts just because you're at a haunted location, and find out if there is any sort of medical history there. And if in doubt, call the ambulance anyway.
A lot of people won't tell you. And then that moment in time when something is happening, your mind can go really blank. And so, you sort of have to pursue that questioning a little bit, or like Anne said, if in doubt, call the ambulance, get them to come and have a look at whoever is having that moment in time, and at least allay the fears that they are not having a heart attack or something going on. That'd be the worst thing in the world, to have to live with that on your head, that something happened to someone while on your watch, and you didn't do the right thing about it.
And here is our very gorgeous Christy, who braved coming to New Orleans with us.
Hello, Christy.
Tell everyone what a good time you had. And who else is on here? There was something else up here.
Yeah, Wanda.
Yeah, now Wanda's actually asked a question for the Tarot Psychic Medium show. This tonight is our... if she's going to pick up on something, she'll pass it on. It's up to her.
Wanda's question was that her son is sort of open to spirits.
I thought it was a different one. Sorry.
He wants nothing to do with it. I'd love to know how old your son is, number one. And number two, it can sometimes be really difficult to shut everything down if they are so persistent, and if they sort of find him to be that channel that they want to talk through. I would really need to know, Wanda, how old he is, to sort of gauge what type of information I can give you with regard to shutting down, because it's very, very different for someone who is very young, a teenager or an adult. We do have the
26.
Oh, he's 26. Has something, since 3. Yeah. So obviously he's been born being so open to all of this. And this is kind of, it's really, really hard. It's really hard. He would be better off, wanted to see someone that can sit down with him and talk him through this. That isn't all woo-woo-y. They can't be woo-woo-y, because part of this is really
Your
psychological
angels and
stuff.
guardians have come forth.
Yeah, it's
You need to buy a crystal and put it near your left testicle.
it's not going to work. You need to know the psychology behind this and how to deal with it. And because he already has a bit of trauma, because he's saying he doesn't want to have anything to do with it, so he's suffering a little bit of trauma. That also puts him in a very vulnerable state when he feels that at any moment in time he's being given these messages or being bombarded. So there has to be some sort of a protocol, Wanda, that he can do so that he can pull away from this, or at least get to a point where he feels that he has control over opening and closing those doors. Yeah. So again, this is not and I would be doing you and him a disservice to say this is really easy. Buy a crystal,
Put it near your left testicle.
Put it near his left testicle would be fine. Not you, but he can put it.
Don't you put it near his left testicle.
Don't touch
He's
his
got to put it
testicles.
near his left testicle.
But
make sure it doesn't have the pointy ends. That could be dangerous.
But yeah, look, some people really don't want to have anything to do with it, and it's totally understandable, and especially as a young bloke. He doesn't want this. It's really, really understandable, but there has to be a protocol. There has to be a level of stuff that is done. It's not just wishing it away or going, no, I don't want this anymore, and magically it disappears, because there is a mindset process that has been put into place since he was 3, and that has to be worked with.
Sorry, I'm just sorry, Melanie. I'm coming back to yours in a second. I just am trying to star the ones that are coming through so we can get some sort of awesomeness. Daisy said she went on a ghost tour in Brisbane when she was on holidays. It was really just a history tour with some spooky recounts. Was that the one in the cemetery? Because there's some that they had a bit of trouble with because it was in a cemetery. Scary Woods in Massachusetts, please tell us where, Stephanie. We are looking for spooky things to do around Providence at the moment.
All woods are going to be spooky at night.
There's dead bodies in there.
Do they have animals in the woods in Massachusetts? Other than squirrels and things?
We did that one.
Anything like big?
Have you ever investigated the old Dubbo Jail before?
Well, Jessica.
Funny you should ask that.
Funny you should ask that.
That's not even a plant.
We've been going there for years, Jessica. We do about 2 tours a year there. We offer paranormal ghost hunts. We are actually going back in October.
The long weekend.
And we have the Friday night and the Saturday night,
which we are
offering at Dubbo Jail to do a paranormal investigation with us. So the short answer to that is yes. The long answer you just got.
It's an awesome location, and I have had one of the freakiest things happen there with the spirit box. Actually, it's happened a couple of times now, particularly when Justin and Bronwyn and Dave are there. It's just crazy. And Dave is actually coming to help us out on one of those tours. So I'm going to grab him to help me with the spirit box.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Dave. Christy came to us on your land. She said it's absolute blast. If you can go on a tour with the ladies, do it. Thank you, Christy. Checks in the mail.
We are going to Norfolk Island next April. So April 2025, we're going to Norfolk Island. If anybody wants to come along, that's kind of local. I think from overseas coming for 4 days is just a little bit too much. Sorry, guys. But we may be heading overseas again next year.
People do it.
We may be heading overseas again next year, depending on our finances. We get over Salem. And so, yes, we will probably be having a tour, an overseas tour next year. Where would you like to go? Where would you like to go? We've got Ireland.
Or Ireland. Please say Ireland.
Or maybe Ireland.
We love Ireland so much.
We have, Ireland.
Scotland,
Wales, USA.
We're looking at probably going in the autumn at this stage. We won't go around Halloween because we have discovered that Halloween is the crazy time. to do anything like that. So it might be late September, early October.
In saying that,
Oh, it's great to see you there, Eric. Welcome back again. Haven't seen you for a bit.
I posted something on my page.
What else is there?
I need to show
it's the
you
same
this.
company as the cemetery ones. I enjoyed it, but can't. Oh yeah, I can't wait to meet you in the flesh. Jessica, I have booked the tickets for the tour. I'm really excited now. Which one? Is that the Dubbo one? Oh, yes, right. Yes, of course. I didn't know you had the Dubbo one up, did you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff. Stephanie said, not a question, but we visited my great-grandparents' burial plot on the way back from Queensland to New South Wales. As we drove away, my 4-year-old son says, "Hey, Mum, there's an old man in the back seat." Oh, wow. I feel as though our great-grandfather joined us for the road trip.
Oh, how nice is that? That's so
Yeah.
cool.
All right, let's get over to here. Stephanie wants to know how. I've just got chills. I've just got goosebumps all over. What the hell's going on?
They multiplying.
And I'm losing control. Oh, toilet. Sorry. How can one be more brave during an investigation?
I just want to show you this. This is what we should have gone to. Check out.
When is that?
This was in Galway.
But when?
During one of the festivals, the quarter festivals. Look at that.
Close that. Close that. Get that open. Pegasus parading through the streets of Galway. Now, can you hold it up to the camera so they can see, or do you want me to hold it for you?
No, it's all right. It's hard to see.
No, the camera's up there. We'll find out when that's on, and we'll see if we can time it. But Galway's like going to Salem. It's crazy.
They have this massive Pegasus horse. It is just, they do amazing stuff there. Just like crazy. Look at the horse behind the fairies. Oh, God. I'd give anything to see that.
Got questions to answer.
Yes, sorry. It's a horse. It's a horse. I love horses. Did you see the horses, the horse that I sent you with all the glitter on it?
No, when do you send me that?
I'll send that to you.
Okay. How can one be more brave during an investigation?
Go with someone that you trust. Hold their hand.
Don't watch the ghost hunting TV shows before you go.
Yep. And just go with the flow. Go with it. If the point with an investigation is to try and work with the fear, but fear will stop you really enjoying the whole process and really taking part. So, if you're at a point where your heart is beating out of your chest, there's no point in standing there, because you're not actually learning anything unless your point of being there is because you want to feel that fear and you want to get that adrenaline hit. If you're there to learn, you need to be in a place where you're quite stable with your emotions, and you can actually go into the process of what is going on. And so you have to be with someone that can help keep you balanced and grounded, or take yourself out of a particular spot for a moment or two. Gather yourself, have a breath of fresh air, and then go back in. So keep on challenging yourself, but it's little by little, and it's the more you do, the more comfortable you're going to feel in being in those situations. But you must be with people you can trust.
Also, have a look at the situation you're in. If there's people saying there's things happening, just be critical and think, is that really something that's happening, or is that somebody reading far too much into what is actually happening? And look for the logical reasons before you jump to the paranormal, because we feed into that hysteria, and it becomes known as like mass hysteria or group hysteria, where one person will experience something and someone else go, oh my God, there must be something there. I better freak out too. And then it just spreads like a virus.
Yeah. You don't want to miss out on being the only person in the group that's not seeing or feeling anything, because then you feel slightly dumb. So that, it's hard to stand out and go, I'm actually not getting anything, but it's actually okay to do that, to say that. If you're with a group of people who kind of stare at you and kind of go, well, geez, what's wrong with you? Can't you feel or see that? Then maybe you're with the wrong
What's wrong
group.
with you? Can't you feel that? Don't pause, Renata. Don't pause.
Sorry.
Look, hang on. Trudy and Kelly BFA. I'm looking forward to meeting you both and painting you both for an Archibald Prize.
Oh, I didn't tell you that. Trudy's going to paint a picture.
You're not going to win anything with these faces. Come on.
No.
I like it, though. That's really cool. Painting of us. Oh. All right. What am I up to now? There, Kel said that looking in the forest, there are bears, coyotes, moose, and bobcats.
Super.
No, they're not. They look nice on TV, but they're not friendly. Right, Shane wants to know, why would someone cover over or bury an old well?
So you don't fall in, Shane?
It may have dried up and it just becomes a hazard, or it may become contaminated.
I have an
or
issue.
Or they've chucked a dead body in it.
I have an issue with old well stories. Let me get to it.
Oh, here we go.
Right?
Hang on, throw your leg over the saddle, get on that high horse.
You have a think about it, okay? You've got these villages or these places that depend on fresh water, right? The fresh water comes from the well that someone has dug. It's the only place you're going to get fresh water. Why in the freaking hell would someone drop a body in there, not only to kill that particular person, they're probably dead anyway, but then to ruin the only source of fresh water in that community? You'd have to be an idiot. But you hear these stories over and over and over again. It's like every well on the planet has a dead body in there, and therefore it's contaminated and there's a demon that lives in there. Freaking hell no. Just no. All right?
Hi, Sky.
End of story.
There, Stephanie said it's Freetown State Woods. They call it the Bermuda Triangle. It must be the Bermuda Triangle of the area.
I've heard of Freetown.
Make a note. Somebody make a note and send it to us. Where are we up to? So that's that one. Have either of you seen a shadow person or a full apparition? Yes, I have seen a full apparition. It was that solid that I think it was a real person. But that person wasn't on the tour, so I can't explain it. And I have seen shadow movement, but I don't know whether I could say it was. I don't know. I think maybe I have seen a shadow person. I don't retain a lot of the details unless it really hits me. Like that apparition I saw at Maitland Jail floored me. So
Yeah, that's like the apparition I saw at midday, walking down the street in Newcastle, or half a body, just the top half. You remember it so clearly. It was like, the day you saw it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen some weird stuff, definitely. Love these questions, by the way, guys. They're fabulous.
Have you ever felt in danger on an investigation?
I have felt in danger on an investigation only because I've been in a place that was visited at that point in time by people who were doing drug deals. So I was not in danger of the spirits that were there. I was pooping my pants because cars that were coming up that drive were filled with young people who were dealing drugs. And it became very, very worrisome for me because I had a ghost tour group doing an investigation on the site. And I was standing guard at the gate going, no one can come in here. I have to protect the people that are on this site. And so I was standing at that gate going, what the freaking hell do I do? I really need to go. That scared the living daylights out of me.
I think I can't remember a specific time, but I know that I have felt fear on I remember when it was fairly early on in my ghost hunting paranormal life. we were at a fairly well-known cemetery here in Newcastle area, a very large one, and we had two friends that were visiting from Victoria, and the business partner I had at the time, who was not Renata, suggested that we take them into this location. And so we went in because we'd had great phenomena happen in there, and we're respectful when we go in. Back then, you find that when you're fairly early into your paranormal investigation career, whatever it is, you will start off in those locations because that's all that is open to you, that you can sort of legally go into. This one you really couldn't. But anyway, they were very experienced paranormal investigators, very experienced, very well respected in the community. And the gentleman that was with us disappeared. And we've suddenly gone, where's blah blah? And we couldn't find him. And then I started to freak out. We all started to freak out, and we were trying to, because this is a huge place, we're sort of flashlights trying to find where he'd gone. And then he just all of a sudden stumbled out of the cemetery to the area where we were. It was like a community area where we were, and his eyes were glazed. He had the camera in his hand because he'd gone off with the camera, and he was covered in grass. And we're going, I'll call him Fred. Fred, what's wrong? You okay? And he was non-responsive. He was upright, he was walking, but he was non-responsive. So I actually got both of his hands, and I'm looking and going, Fred, listen to my voice. And I even got my knuckle and put it into the breastbone there, and he came round. And he has no recollection of what happened to him. It could have been a medical episode. I really wanted to look at the camera to find out what had happened, and he didn't want us to. He wouldn't let us see it. He's not the sort of person that would fake stuff at all. Very, very sensible person. That freaked me out a bit. I've dealt with people who has supposedly been in possession before, and trying to work with them when they are no longer themselves is also quite freaky, because you don't know whether you've got the tools in your belt to bring them back. And luckily, touch wood, I've had success with that. I haven't lost anyone yet, so to speak. And now when I say possession, I do not mean in the religious sense of the word, just an altered state. Good question. It's brought up some old memories. Daisy, I once saw someone being prayed over to release them from their demons, their face distorted in a way that was not natural. I can never forget that face. Have you seen pictures and videos of people in religious ecstasy rigor where their faces contort? It's a thing. I don't think it's anything to do with spirits. I think they're just that involved in what they're doing that they grimace, and it's terrifying. Melanie, I go to my 5-year-old at the time to say to this farmer and barking dog in his room to say that they were scaring him and to return when he is older if they need help. It worked.
Okay.
You just talk to them, and if they were human once, just talk to them. Question, how do you pick a good psychic for a reading? What are the things to look for to know they're not misleading? That's so hard until you're in the reading with them.
Yeah. It is. It's really hard unless you've got someone that can give you some feedback. So,
but even then, if that person is gullible,
look at the majority of what people say about this particular person. You'd like to think that they give you grounding answers and lead you in a grounding sort of way. I worry about people who use too much woo-woo in their readings. And if they start talking to you about a whole lot of stuff that you kind of are scratching your head and going, I've got no idea what they're talking about, then it's sort of, really, it gets really, really difficult. You want to be able to have someone who looks at you and looks you in the eye rather than looking away or, up up with the fairies. But you also, and again, it depends on what you're asking or what your desire is to have or get from a reading. It's difficult, and I probably have maybe one or two people that I would trust to, say to someone, go and see this particular person, because I'm pretty sure they're really, really good.
So I'm just scrolling down to make sure I'm up to date on the questions. If you've got a question for us, just pop it down in the comments. I'm a paranormal investigator from Mackay, and I was wondering if yours have any good locations up in this area and more up north. I'm honestly not that familiar, Ryan, with the Queensland. The only, as far as we've gone, was Brisbane, and Sue took us to that wonderful village. What was it?
I don't know, but there is someone that's doing investigations in that village at the moment, but Mackay's a long way away.
Yeah.
It'd be like asking us, is there anything really good in Indonesia?
Well, we could probably answer that.
So unless someone here,
but we did. I got a book. I got a book. Is it any in that book that might tell you what's up in North
Mackay? I've got the book at home.
Oh, good work. What about that place we went to with the gold in the walls?
I don't know how far up that is.
That was up Townsville way.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're not going to mention that name.
Ryan, do lots of research. Do lots of research and see what you can find. But if anybody knows of anything around Mackay that you can recommend, put in the comments.
And give your team a shout out while you're here too. David, hi David, have you ever investigated Fort Scratchley? I've shot a movie at Fort Scratchley. This one has done Fort Scratchley.
David.
Oh, we have, with Aaron.
Fort Scratchley about 10 years ago. I did about 7 months of tours there with people. At that stage when we were at Fort Scratchley, we were not allowed to investigate. It was to be purely a historical tour. We could take K2s down with us, and we could stop for 5 minutes to do a slight investigation in one particular spot. That's why I stopped doing tours at Fort Scratchley. Now it is different, but there is another tour group that does tours at Fort Scratchley, not me.
Yeah, and we've got no idea of the activity. When we were there with Erin, it was quiet, and we couldn't get too far down into the tunnels.
Yeah, you'd lose all.
But you've got to think, why would it be haunted? Just because it's tunnels and it was wartime, why would it be haunted?
It's a super cool place. I really recommend you do the history tour.
Joanne's got a holiday lodge in Wales near Harlech Castle. We're coming, Joanne.
We're coming, Joanne.
Book us in. The three of us will go. All right, Cameron, how are you, Cameron? I loved your Christmas in July. It was fabulous. How much of the Olympics have you two been watching?
Very little.
No, I haven't even seen the opening everyone's talking about.
Yeah, because it's there's only one channel that has all the rights to it, and so we only really get to see who's won a medal or something on the news, other than watching the Olympics on that particular channel, and we're always busy. So yeah, it's hard.
All right, I'm going to jump down here for a second. Hello, Doof Doof Paranormal. I love that. I've been unable to find anywhere that will let me investigate without going along with their groups, which is sad. They live near Brisbane. Now, Karen, you made a very interesting comment on our YouTube about The Conjuring when we did the Diary of a Ghost Hunter. We did Diary of a Ghost Hunter, and you said we are very close to what's going on there because you know a few of the people there, and that we were very close to saying what was happening over there. We sort of said that there's a lot of people with fingers in the pie and agendas over there, and I don't think we're hearing the whole story, but it's almost like piranhas.
Yeah, you know when someone's really out to get you and they won't stop.
And what happens to a business owner who has just spent so much money on a location?
$1.5 million.
Yeah, when they're being attacked so publicly, they're going to go defensive and a bit feral, I'd say. I really don't know much more.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know the story. We do know bits and pieces of stories of people who have associations with that place, but we don't know the whole story. So, you know, it's not up to us to comment.
Hi, Jeremiah.
The only thing that is really, really awful in this situation is that it is breaking up everything to do with the house. The house has a history. It is a location.
There was trauma there.
There was trauma there.
Whether it was paranormal or not is another thing, but there was trauma.
The house is kind of an entity on its own. So what's going on is, and the Kling brothers put it really, really well. They put it really well. They have a lot of people are now saying that the house is not haunted at all. It's all a furphy. It's all a bit of rubbish.
So all those paranormal investigators who got absolutely amazing evidence for decades now, were they all lying? Were they all lying?
And what happens if the house gets sold now and this owner leaves because she can't handle it anymore and can't be bothered, and somebody from a paranormal group buys the house and then starts to advertise it as being truly haunted again? So you go, well,
if they like them, they'll say it is haunted.
What happened in between? It was haunted and then it wasn't haunted and now it's haunted again. You know, so what this is doing, it's just demeaning everything. It's demeaning the house. It's demeaning the people that work there. It's demeaning all of the groups that went there prior and have got alleged stuff that's going on. Plus, it's also really demeaning the people that are now so publicly going into this whole process of scorched earth, because that's what it is. It's scorched earth.
I mean, who's even going to buy the place now after all of this has gone on?
Yeah.
All right, Brianna, moving into a house dating back to the late part of the 900 AD soon.
Can we come?
She said you're more than welcome to come and investigate. Where are you, Brianna? What's your address? We're coming.
Yes,
seriously.
Please.
That'd be awesome.
That would be so good.
Have you ever seen an indigenous spirit?
We have been called to a number of places that have had indigenous spirits associated with the site. We actually work at Tomago House, which has a lot of indigenous energy there. And the last time we were there, we had a lovely gentleman who talked to us about certain areas of the place which match up with the information that we actually have. Oh, I've got to tell you that we have about the place. We do know what we need to do there just to kind of help and just be totally respectful of it. I haven't in particular seen any myself, but we have heard of a lot of people, especially around Newcastle area here, who have had dealings with indigenous spirits.
I've got cousin Steve online, if you haven't guessed, everyone, talking about awful tuna mornay's and apricot chickens. He doesn't like apricot chicken. I used to make a really good apricot chicken. I'll invite Daisy. She can come eat. Now, Simone pointed out something very important here regarding the well. People back then didn't understand about contaminating the water, and they'd piss and shit and bathe in it.
Yeah, but not in a well. Not in a well. A well that you have to put a bucket or something down in and drag water up.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was no understanding.
The problem is that if people who had diseases were actually putting their hands or putting buckets in where their hands and everything were into that well, it could probably contaminate the water with things like smallpox and diphtheria and tuberculosis and all of that sort of crap. So, yeah, horrible. Because that's how one of the plagues started in one of the... Is it England? Is it in England? I read there was a well. I thought
it was fleas for the Black Plague.
There was a water well in one of the main streets, and because so many people were taking water out of it, you know, their hands were all over it and everything. That's how one of the diseases plague started or something.
pulling crystals out of their left testicles. I remember seeing two outlined bodies, one tall and one short. Both mum and dad had passed, and mum was tall and dad was short. I felt very dizzy at the time. What are your thoughts?
Could be, Eric.
Was it a premonition? Was your body reacting to, not a premonition, a vision?
And if you're talking about energy from an energetic level, yes, you could be dizzy if
your body's reacting
to it. Absolutely.
Because it doesn't understand what is happening, and it hits that flight or fight response, and you get that adrenaline rush, and you go, oh, I can't do anything with this right now. Yeah. Will we be doing any more Temu hauls? We've been asked a couple of times now. They were sponsoring us there for a little while. They enjoyed our first couple that we did, but it's just not getting the numbers that we require to keep doing them. They were fun. They were absolute fun. I actually did buy some of the sex toys we were going to review, and they are floating around down in here, never been used and never will. They're from Temu. Bits would break off and you'd never fish them out. You did have fun. You bought a cardigan or something.
I bought a gorgeous cardigan. It's really, really pretty.
It is. It's really nice. It even feels nice. I know Sharon Osborne was smashed by a spirit, if you want to say. I actually did see that episode, and she did have something that was going on, and it could have been a spirit. And she's not that good an actress. It was really quite intense. It could have been a medical episode because she has had quite a few medical issues. So what is it when a face morphs into someone else? I tried to explain my experience with someone they didn't understand. It's called transfiguration, transmorphication, where there's a couple of different theories to this that I've seen this happen in seance conditions where it's in red light, and they say that spirit is using ectoplasm, which is exuded from the pores of your skin to create different face shapes to look like your loved ones that have passed, or that they just manipulate your facial structure to create that.
If you stand in red light for long enough, anything will transconfigure because your eyes are trying to desperately make sense of what they are seeing. And so they will play games on you. And your eyes are seeing something, then that information is being sent up to your brain, and your brain is going through, oh my God, what is that? I'm going to try and make a face out of it because I can't really see all of the details. That's coming back down to your eyes. And then your brain is going, that's as close as I get.
But there are people who have the ability to, like they have a rubber face. People say they've got a rubber face because they can manipulate their eyebrows and their cheeks and their mouth and jaw and change the way they look. So that is a possibility. The thing with the seances I saw was that there would be slight movement and shadow, and people would be going, I can see a mustache forming. So the medium would know that that was the angle they were getting the shadow there. So the people were sort of feeding them with the information to succeed. But I did see some weird shit. I have seen some weird shit in my time. Have you done investigations or tours at many locations in Victoria? If so, what would you recommend and what were your favourites? Which goes hand in hand with Karen here. Beechworth, Mayday Hills, Beechworth Asylum. We were there a month ago. It was a very quiet night. I felt sorry for the guy because he was such a good tour guide and entertaining, and he didn't know we were all paranormal investigators. There was a lot of us, and we just played along and had a really good time. We didn't try to overanalyze or overthink it, but even he said it was a really quiet night. The only thing that really did happen was a REM pod that was going off, and we knew it was the temperature. It wasn't Morse code. It was the temperature, but still a great location. I would like to go again.
In a couple of hours for Beechworth.
Yeah. And there was I would have liked to have gone into different areas than what we went into, or
And I have a picture that's a little bit.
Well, I had one too, but
weird,
you
yes.
pooped on mine, bitch.
Sorry.
Yours was interesting. I will give that to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can stay at the nurses' quarters there. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. That was so much fun. Right.
Otherwise, where else have we gone?
There's Old Melbourne Jail.
Old Melbourne Jail is good, but we have a thing for jails.
Pentridge we went to.
Yeah, Pentridge is great, but I don't think it is anymore. I think they've just closed a whole lot down. I don't think there's anything left of Pentridge anymore.
You're naughty.
Yeah.
Hello, Maxine. Our picture, your picture's up the back there. I don't know if you can see where it is. There.
And of course, if you're out at what's the place our friend has the jail out at?
Old Geelong Jail.
Old Geelong Jail.
It's freaking awesome.
That is amazing.
That's it, Robert. I can never remember transfogrification. I was close. It's all right if you use the sex toys. I would be disappointed if you didn't at least check it out. You are one of us, Lou. Well, hello, Amanda. How are you? Now, they've got a whole heap of locations.
Do you want me to report back on that? No. You're not. No, I won't.
I'll get Roman to tell you if it worked.
Oh.
Amanda, tell us your locations down in Melbourne, quickly.
Yes, because people are asking.
And we went out to the one with the Kling brothers, with our gorgeous girls that we interviewed and put up on Diary of a Ghost Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Mystical Jackal. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. Mystical Jackal. They have a location there that you can go to. And
they do all-nighters for like cheapest chips. They'll do an all-nighter for you.
And they don't have huge groups, which is really nice.
Oh, and St. Arnold's.
Yeah, St. Arnold's, of course. Beechworth Jail. There's also Ararat. And just quickly going through. I haven't been to Adelaide yet, Simone. We tried to when we were coming out of COVID, and then we bought the flights. We were ready to go. We're going to go and meet Alison and Cag, and everything got shut down again. We couldn't go. I'm just starring a few more. All right, so get back up into here. Oh, did you all hear the tragic news? I was involved in a hit and run.
I'll sit back while you tell the story.
It's true.
Yeah, I thought I'd just sit back. You can tell the story, and
I was parking Rosie the Tesla. Charging at a charging station at Cameron Park, and this ute pulled up on the row of parking in front of us. And it was where they had the Celebrations liquor shop. And they didn't even park properly in between the lines. And then they've gone in and the guy's come back with his grog, jumped into the car. And they've reversed back hard and fast straight into my car. My 14-week-old car has got a big scratch up the bonnet and down the side panel. And they've pushed one of my lights in.
Now, you managed to go all the way from Newcastle to Victoria and back
without an incident.
And then around the corner from
while you parked.
Oh, Lord.
And they drove off. But they forgot. It's a Tesla. It's got Sentry mode. It recorded them from 4 different angles. I got the number plate. They had the name of the business on the side of the truck. They had the phone number. And I even saw the person in the back seat turn around and go when they hit us. And so we just rang them and said, excuse me, police report made. Turned out it was for P-Plater. But I have to say the business has been very responsible and did give us all the information. They named the driver. I don't know what's happened to him, but poor Rosie's had a boo-boo.
Joanne, thank you.
Oh, Joanne, thank you, beautiful. You are too kind to us.
Thank you,
Honest to
Joanne.
God. But
Thank you
we
so
really
much.
appreciate it. That's to getting us to go over now to our road trip from St. Louis up to Ohio to the Buckland Museum of Magic and Witchcraft to visit Tony Rotunda and Eric. And then we are going across...
Eric the Satanist.
Eric, we're going to go and meet Eric the Satanist. I cannot resist an invitation like that.
Oh, he's going to be a gorgeous guy. I just know it. It's going to be fabulous.
Fabulous. He's got a haunted old funeral parlor that he runs events and things in, and we're allowed to go in.
It's going to be like kids in a candy shop.
Oh,
look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Who do we have to swear fealty to? Not a problem.
We've got to do a live. Got to do a live there.
Well, we have to get permission to do that, so we'll make sure that we can.
I'll give him some lollies. I'll give him some Tim Tams. Always works.
All right. So we did that one. Lisa, what techniques would you both like to try in a private investigation that you haven't been able to yet or have only just thought of? I actually have one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm going to tell anyone about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep it secret a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
I might tell you, Lisa. But I saw in the research for one of the podcasts that we've got coming up, and you'll hear it. I'll talk about it when that comes up. And this lovely lady used this technique and seemed to get results from it. So I have found the device and I'm going to give it a crack.
Awesome. Always have to try new things because it's like
we don't have the answers yet.
Rehashing the same old stuff. We need to try everything.
Yeah, I think we spoke to Simone about that one. Doof. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karen.
That is so generous. Thank you very, very much. Buy Eric the Satanist a coffee. Absolutely. And the thing is, I can't get it out of my head now. All I can think of is Eric the Satanist.
She'll probably take it black.
Do we introduce ourselves as this is Renata the pagan and I'm what am I? Agnostic? What's the one that doesn't believe in anything?
Agnostic, I think.
Yeah, is it? Atheist?
That's it, atheist.
I'm the atheist high.
And this is Eric the Satanist.
It's just weird. This is Mary the Catholic. Would you do a ghost hunt debunkers or another paragraph? Oh, hell yeah.
We've done a few and we welcome debunkers.
Did you see us on travel guides? Did you see who I copped?
Oh, talking about the scariest thing that's ever happened to you. Oh, God, being locked in the room with the friend family.
When they're hysterical.
That was terrifying.
Did you know she had a chair and she was holding a chair?
Yes.
Because it's pitch black in there.
Yes. I was terrified. I just wanted to get out of there and run away. Oh, my God. It's horrid.
The girls, they didn't show much of the girls. The girls were lovely, and they didn't show anything of the boys in the sensory deprivation experiment, and that went nuts. We actually had to stop it because the young guy was almost crying.
Yeah.
So
but they had to go with the nasty people.
Yeah. And he rolled his eyes at me. I'm so glad I didn't see that. They also did not show me giving as good as what he was giving. Because you guys know there was a few sly digs there. I couldn't help myself. That's not going to make it to TV, is it?
Well, they got mine. Said, how do we get out of here? And I said, go to the light. Oh, I was fed up by then.
Oh. This was also shot in December last year, in one of the hottest days of the year. We were dying. It was all locked up in Maitland Jail. Oh. And then, of course, Maitland Jail's now closed. We can't do anything with it, can we? Yes, if you'd like to buy us a coffee, that's it down there. You can. There's a link there saying buymeacoffee.com/Anne and Renata. $5. Buys us a cup of coffee, and we need that for Renata's sanity.
Yes.
And it's just supporting
And
the
everybody
work we do.
else's, because when I don't have a
She's a
coffee,
cow.
it's shit. Joe had another question. Or someone had a question.
Yeah, I saw my first spirit when I was 6. He was a tall man in a long coat with a tall black hat. I've never forgotten him. Why do you think he just stood next to me looking at me and wouldn't go away?
That's a really good question. And there are a lot of kind of theories about these men in black or black men with hats. Some of them, and I guess I'll go to that whole point of some of them do think they are men in black rather than shadow people. And men in black are usually associated more with UFOs or extraterrestrials or things. So, don't know. But what they do say is once you've had one experience with extraterrestrials or people or entities from UFOs, the likelihood is that throughout your life you will have a number of connections with them, and it could also be hereditary, ancestral. So if your family has had associations with UFOs, the likelihood is at some point in time you might.
Have you ever done an investigation at a working funeral home? My wife works in one, has recently received some decent scratches that can't be explained. Not a working one, no. The thing is, sometimes you are in a rush, you brush against things and you don't realize that you've scratched yourself. It could be that. It could be something else. I don't know. We'd have to go. And it's not likely they're going to let paranormal investigators in here.
I wonder whether on that particular day there was a large sense of anxiety in the area, or whether they may have in a funeral home just had a showing or something,
A viewing
where like live people were there. That could explain, the scratching. Not that in a live person scratched her, but that a particular type of energy was created that may have been reactive, and she was there on the spot.
Maxine's listening to Spooky Sundays to put her to sleep. There's nothing like our work to put you to sleep. Morning Peninsula Immigration Sanatorium, like the one. Oh, no, I haven't, but I would love to. Can you get us in, Valerie? Any new devices for ghost hunts except for the ones you didn't mention? There is always stuff that's coming out. There was some sort of helmet. What was the one that we had in Ireland where it was the red goggles on our eyes? And I looked like a giant bug from outer space. I have to find those pictures and put them up. They were pretty horrendous. I think Barb had them on at one stage as well.
I think the helmet was like a...
What was it, Lisa?
A white noise thing, or blocked out noise.
Were you there with us at Ross Castle? I can't remember.
Oh, God.
Look, there's all. I think Dave mentioned the tracer. I've got a tracer, and it didn't travel very well. The way it gets rolled up, I think it's damaged some of the sensors, and I was very careful with it. That's my only concern. The dead bell, we had a great time with the dead bell, but again, that does not travel well. It's very delicate, and I've got 3 now that are broken, so I'm not getting any more.
Yeah. And these things are expensive. They're not cheap. And by the time you buy something and it works once and then it's broken, it's really sad, because these pieces of equipment aren't made to a kind of a standard that ghost hunters treat them. I mean, we're usually traveling, we've got things that are packed one on top of each other. They're not made to withstand that type of stuff. They're kind of made to take from the shop.
They're meant to go into
somewhere.
Pelican cases. Yeah. We can't travel with them. They're too big and heavy. I love the Estes method. What's your favorite method or device? Estes method. I love it. I love it when you get a string of questions that are answered and there is no explanation on how that can happen.
We've had some interesting results
particularly on Norfolk Island.
and some fun ones too.
And our final one for tonight is Lou. Hi, Eric the Satanist. I'm ADHD Anne and Renata the Electric Witch. I like it.
I like it.
Can I be ADHD Anne with the Tesla? Oh dear. All right, I think that brings us up to the end. Oh, here's Louise.
A very useful device is the BFR camera, biofield reader.
Oh, cool.
Haven't seen that one, Matt.
Frequencies of light.
I'd love to work with that one. Where do you get that from, Matt?
I thought it was the big fucking red camera there for a second.
The BFR camera biofield reader. I think I've heard. I have heard of it, but have not.
I need a pen.
It.
I need to make notes.
Was it on one of the? Oh, where did I hear about it? I heard about it recently.
Oops, sorry, shouldn't move that. BFR, what is it? Biofield. All right, we need to go.
Hello, Yindi Mara. If I haven't said that.
Hello, Jeff. All right, I was watching a video about Australia's Wonderland. A comment someone said it was sold or haunted. I think it's just another one of those abandoned places. And because it's abandoned and looking old and scary, people say, oh, it must be haunted. I don't know if we might have had some deaths there. Don't know. Anyway, I know there was trauma from people on roller coasters. Anyway, let's get out of here. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see if we can do a catch-up one for the tarot evening. And in the meantime, see you on the dark side.
Stay spooky.
And
Don't be a dickhead. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.